Welcome to Historyflix English, and welcome to this explainer. Okay, so today we're doing something, kind of different. We're taking a highly focused, almost microscopic look at what is literally one of the most incredibly minimalist historical texts we've ever come across in our source material. I mean, usually, we're parsing through dense paragraphs, massive data sets, the whole shebang. But today we're exploring the sheer immense power of absolute brevity.
So let's dive right in by asking a really fascinating question. What can we truly learn when a historical record is stripped down to its absolute barest essence? Think about it. When we completely remove the timeline, the context, the sprawling lists of names and places, what actually happens to the core meaning of the event? What does an excerpt reveal when it gives us, almost nothing at all?
Section 1. The historical excerpts. Let's take a look.
Now, the document introduces itself simply as excerpts from Trojan War. And honestly, that immediately sets an expectation for us as readers, doesn't it? The word excerpts tells us we're looking at a fragment. It signals we're about to read a specific piece pulled from a much larger body of work. So, we sit back, expecting a really powerful quote, maybe a detailed paragraph, or a key scene from antiquity.
But then, we get this. And honestly, this just brilliantly illustrates our entire source material. Just these two words, Trojan War, standing completely alone on the page. That's it. That is literally the entirety of the text provided under the heading. No, really, it's almost poetic in its emptiness, right? Instead of a sweeping narrative, we are literally just given the subject itself as the complete excerpt.
Section 2. Defining the conflict.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is that within the confines of this specific document we're analyzing today, the event is defined solely by its own name. There is absolutely no further context. No dates, zero historical figures provided. We don't get Achilles, no Hector, no giant wooden horse, none of it. The event is the name, and the name is the event. It's a completely 100% self-referential document.
And this highlights a really dramatic contrast for us. On one hand, think about the sheer vastness of what those words represent conceptually. When you hear the phrase Trojan War, your mind instantly floods with epic battles, mythological gods, sieges, and literally millennia of storytelling. But then, consider the physical reality of our source text right here. Extreme, stark brevity. It's like the immense weight of human history has been compressed into the smallest possible space.
Section 3. The weight of words. Breaking down our source data, we see this absolutely fascinating closed loop of information. The document title introduces the subject as the Trojan War, and then the excerpted content itself is exactly the Trojan War. Crucially, there are no other descriptors, no events, or individuals listed anywhere. The subject and the description are just perfectly minimally aligned. It's basically an echo chamber consisting entirely of its own title.
Exactly 2 words. That makes up the absolute totality of our excerpt. And because of that, we're forced as readers and as active learners to focus entirely on their solitary presence. We aren't distracted by some external narrative or elaborate descriptions. We are left only with the naming of the thing itself. It really proves that sometimes the most striking historical records are actually the ones that say the absolute least.
So as we wrap up this totally unique explainer, I really want to leave you with this provocative thought. How much history can 2 words hold? When analyzing historical fragments like this, is simply naming an event enough to preserve its eternal legacy? Does the mind just automatically fill in the rest of the blank page? Well, it turns out when the words are Trojan War, the answer might just be yes. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack this fascinating minimalist text today. Keep questioning, keep focusing on those little details, and I will see you in the next explainer.